Hello everyone, my name is Evgeny and I am professional fisherman from Ukraine with a lot of experience in catching trophy fish. So today we're gonna shoot a very quick video on how to choose appropriate hardbait for your fishing trip. All fishing lures can be divided into a few categories. So first one is metal lures, another is hardbaits. They can be made of plastic, of composite materials, of wood, and yeah, probably that's it. And another category is soft plastic lures. And also we have some different combinations of materials to be used in fishing lure production. Hardbaits and how to choose them. There are a few different ways to choose appropriate color. The first one is to take a look on your water conditions and your weather. If weather is bright, you have a sunny day, it is reasonable to choose dark colors. On the contrary, if you have a cloudy day, it might be beneficial to use more bright color or colors that have a lot of reflection. Another thing that you have to consider is water condition. Let's say you have really clear water. In that case, I would go with something natural, the lure that looks like a real fish. If you have muddy water that is not clear, you want to use something really bright, like bright yellow, bright green. Another approach is to consider the fish bait that is most common in your area of fishing. Let's say if you know that pike it's a lot of goldeye, you may want to choose the colors that most similar to the goldeye, or maybe predator in your area is hunting for some dark color fish. In that case, you want to go with a dark color bait. Yeah, so this is two most common approaches for choosing color of your lure. Now let's talk about lure size. As you have already noticed, probably if you ever been in a fishing store, the size of hardbait varies from 1 inch and probably to 12 or 14 inches. So the question is how to choose right size of your fishing lure. Here's also a few approaches, but basically you have to imagine how this lure will fit into the mouth of fish that you're gonna catch. So if you're hunting for big pike, like musky or like 15 pounds of pike, you may want to use bigger lure, like 6 inch or something like that, or even 8. But if you're hunting for goldeye, you may want to use smaller lure that will fit into its mouth easily. Another thing to consider, if you know there is a lot of small fish in area, let's say 2-3 pounds, and you don't want to catch this size of fish, you're hunting for something really for a really big fish like musky, let's say, or big pike. In that case, you also want to go with bigger lure, so you can eliminate small fish. Another point: sometimes fish isn't active. In that case, it might be a good idea to try to use smaller lure. Let's say you have very hot water, so there is very small amount of oxygen in the water, and fish is passive. So in that case, usually you want to go with a smaller lure. If fish see smaller catch, it might be easier catch for fish and requires less energy. So in these days, it may provoke your pike better. Yeah, also choosing the size of your lure, you have to always consider your rod test. So never exceed your rod test limit. If you have a rod that has a test limit to 1 ounce, you don't want to use any heavier lure in general case. Sometimes you can use heavier lure. It depends on casting technique and many other things, but usually you don't want, and usually you want to use the lure that is a little bit lower, at least. Hardbaits come in different shapes, right? Some of them are long, we call them minnows, another we call shats, and we also have crankbaits. They have more round body. Also we have different styles like lipless hardbaits, poppers, topwaters that goes just on the water surface. So let's talk about shape a little bit. The general rule here is, as well as I have already mentioned, you need to consider the most common fish bait in the lake or river that you're going to fish. If it's a goldeye, choose something like shad. If it's some types of minnows, go with minnow shape. Depth. If your hardbait has a lip, it allows him to dive into certain depths. The bigger lip is and the bigger angle towards the body, the bigger depths this lure can dive to. You have to consider once again where the bait fish is located in your river or lake. During some hot summer days, it might locate in the upper level of water. During some cold days, like early spring or autumn, this small species can go to the lower level of water near the bottom, and most likely your predatory fish will be hunting in the same level of water where it can catch its bait fish. So it's most reasonable to choose the lures that go to the same depths that your bait fish in your area. And in general, if I fishing from the shore, I like to use hardbaits that goes not deeper than 2.5 meters. So it's about 6, maximum 8 feet. Why is that? Because if you need to fish deeper, I prefer to use either ratlins, lipless hardbaits, or soft lures, silicone lures. But for shallow water like 1 meter, 4 feet or something like that, I always fish on almost always fish on hardbaits. So I guess the best choice for this layer of water is hardbait. Now let's talk about price range. You can buy a hardbait anywhere from $1 to $80, I believe. There exist some collectible lures that discontinued and in a big shortage, so people are willing to spend like $80 $100 or even more dollars for a lure just to have it in their own collection. However, let's talk about a lure from practical perspective. I'm not talking about some collections and everything like that. I've been selling fish lures for 15 years. I have lures in my store from all over the world. From Japan, from United States, from Finland, from China as well. And the thing is, it's a really interesting topic about talking about prices and qualities. So even like very famous Japan brands and United States brands as well, they produce their lures in China actually, and even Rapala is also producing its lures in China. And why? So why do you think it's happening? Why they don't produce their lures in the United States or Japan or in Finland? Probably they think that it is reasonable. These big companies, they consider it reasonable to produce lures in China. And sometimes they just produce like a lure body in China and then bring it to Japan, put hooks on a lure body and put a sticker made in Japan on their lure box. So where I'm going with that? For the last 2 years, I've been practically 90-95% of the time fishing on Chinese lures, and that's why I produce my own lures also in China. Because you just need to choose the right factory that has expensive molds. So what you need to be looking for when you evaluating the lure? A lure consists of two parts that are glued together with ultrasonic. So you need to be looking for that these two parts should be symmetrical. Then you need to check the quality of finishing and of paint. There shouldn't be any cracks or scratches. And then take a look for hooks. Because actually these two hooks cost almost the same or sometimes even more money than this plastic body itself. Hooks should be sharp and strong. They should be forged. Let's say here you can see good quality hooks, and on other lures you may find the hooks that you can bang with your finger very easily. The same will happen when you catch a fish. I guess hardbait shouldn't cost more than $6-8. Usually it should cost less. I won't spend like $15-20, and I don't see any point to buy big brands lures if you can buy like almost same quality for lower price and sometimes even higher quality.